Hey everybody, good morning. It's me, PDawg. It's Thursday. You know what that means. I've got a few FTGs for these people out here. Before I even hit the button, this is Kyle was up and at 'em with the $2 super chat through the Streamlabs link in the description down below saying, hello chat people and PDawg. Well, hello Kyle. Good excuse me. Good morning. That's why I have reparations coffee, because sometimes I cough. It's not the cough. It's not the coof cough. It's just me in the morning. It's dusty in here and all that stuff. So anyway, I hope you're ready to go. I certainly am. I'm going to play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Yes, it is a good morning. I'm going to start the other music, though. It's a little, what do I have going on today? I think I have it has the 90s pop feel I think I went for today. So you won't recognize any of the songs, but you'll kind of get it as some of the chord progressions and beats happen. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live. Yes, it's Thursday, April 30th, the last day of April 2020. And it's D.I. Freighter Watcher's birthday. Happy birthday! Woo! Yes. I'm not one of those. Well, I sometimes sing, but that's how do you, dear D.I. Freighter Watcher? That's challenging. Anyway, happy birthday, D.I. Freighter Watcher. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, me, Marty, aka PDawg Knight. That's what I'm known as on the internet. And welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm so happy that you're all here. People rolling in very quickly. Let's say good morning to everybody first, because I've got so much stuff, and more stuff keeps popping up. It's like, and today is so much of it is follow-up stuff, and it's also FTG Thursday, and I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed. Yes, overwhelmed. That's the best word for it. So anyway, let's say good morning to people in the chat. Good morning, Gunfox61, who was first here today and gets the bell. Yes, sir. Thank you for coming by. Grillin' Pirate Pete, ahoy, sir. And he's had some jokes. You know what? I am going to go back to Pete's jokes because a couple of them are pretty funny. Well, here, let me just interrupt the good morning with what Pete started out my day with when I came on here. Gunfox and Pete have been kind of bantering back and forth, but here it is. Let's see. First he says, I was just thinking, damn, this is the oldest I've ever been. I feel your pain, sir. This is definitely the oldest I've ever been. And then 2020 is our punishment for Burger King trying to sell tacos. To which Gunfox later down here responds, 2020 is our punishment for not voting for more donuts and coffee. I always vote for more donuts and coffee. And then, does the jelly inside a donut count as a fruit serving? Asking for a friend. And finally, Pete bought a chicken to make sandwiches. It doesn't. It just shits on the floor. So there you go. Pete is all over the place this morning. Also, good morning to Chi-Town J. Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, Mike Savage. Blarg. Hello, the Reverend. Tex Watson is in the house. Well. Good morning, Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, and my friend Sheograph, who says, howdy, bigots. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. I'm glad you're back. I haven't seen you for a while. Good morning, Tyler F. And Becca Fairley, two of my prolific promoters of the show who tweet out the show all the time. Also, good morning to Donatello Slapafellow and Duck Dog. You see what I'm doing there, Duck Dog. Jason Birds, hello, nice to have you back. Good morning to D.I. Freighter. Again, it's D.I. Freighter's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear D.I. Freighter Watcher. Happy birthday to you. Yes, I did sing. Okay, good for me and good for you. Happy birthday. Good morning, Low Rider, Rolling Bear. And that looks like the end of the list for the moment. I wish I could do a 5-hour show, Gunfox, because then I would be able to get all of your emails. I'd get all through all your emails. I don't know. I might have to do an afternoon show this week, either today or tomorrow, just to catch up with some of the stuff Gunfox. He sends me a ton of great stuff. It's just that I have so much stuff already, and I only have an hour and a half to do it. So perhaps we'll figure that out, Gunfox, because I really do. You do send me a lot of great stuff. Also, good morning, Maniac Man, who says woof. And there you go. All right. So, by the way, the Morning Light Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Light Live. Please share this stream out. I haven't had a new subscriber for a week. Now, I had about 100 new ones last week. But, you know, it's because I'm not getting promoted on this platform. And I think I am. I think I am. I talked about this briefly yesterday, and it popped into my head. I thought, hey, this might be a good idea. I should have the Joe Biden YouTube challenge. Let's see if we can make PDawg have more subscribers than Joe Biden. That would be awesome. Now, Joe Biden, look, I'm at 700 or so, 708 subscribers right now. Joe Biden has 47,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, but I thought that's pretty weak for the basically presumptive Democratic nominee for the president of the United States. Only has 47,000 YouTube subscribers, and I watched a couple things on that channel, and I was like, oh my God, I can understand why. Talk about snoozers. Hell, Joe fell asleep in his own YouTube live stream yesterday, or 2 days ago, or whatever that was when he was on with Hillary Clinton. Oh, speaking of Hillary Clinton, there's a story today in The Hill that I'm like, oh my God. Some people are predicting what I'm going to read to you today. Let's see. Yes, Gunbugs. I know there's a lot more good stuff in the email today. You know what? Here, in fact, let me go just look over here, because sometimes I get scared. Okay, you got a new, oh my goodness, here we go. Good. The last left. Oh, actually, I have that one already. Okay, good. Yes. Oh, yeah, the weekly jobless claims. Oh, I don't want to look at that. Anyway, all right. Let's get this thing going because we just got to. Now, the other day, I spent quite a bit of time talking about Lieutenant General Michael Flynn and the kind of railroad job he's been getting, and you know that there's going to be some new documents coming out. However, I did not expect that the very next day after I said that, there'd be quite a bombshell. There's that word. There is a bombshell that came out yesterday, and this is I think it's the tip of the iceberg. I'm telling you, there is so much stuff that's going to be coming out. It's going to be so, well, who knows? I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting too optimistic. I think some people need to go to jail, and this particular new document made its appearance on many formats yesterday, so let's just show you what we're talking about. So here is the Twitter version of what's happening now. Of course, Twitter is going to be slightly subdued in how they present it, and especially when they have a photo via CNN Politics. But anyway, here's the scoop. A federal judge unsealed the documents on Wednesday, which included handwritten notes from the day of the Bureau's interview with President Trump's former national security advisor and communications between FBI officials. Again, this is the new documents here to show how the FBI handled General Michael Flynn's investigation. General Flynn pled guilty in December 2017 to making false statements about his contacts with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. However, Flynn's lawyers argue he was framed and he is seeking to withdraw his plea. Now that's an interesting way they presented that. here's the thing. As we're finding out over the last few days, I didn't even know this until I saw it yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Excuse me. 2 days ago, I saw this. So Flynn's initial lawyers, the first lawyers he had for this, were from a law firm, Covington and something. Not Covington Catholic, no. Anyway, this law firm that were his first lawyers were from just so happened to be the same law firm that President Obama's wingman is a partner in. Yeah. So you got to think, okay, the wingman's a partner, and so how did he get representation from somebody like this? Okay, and why, now I'm so flustered I can't even think of wingman's name. I just think of it as wingman. Obama's first attorney general. Someone will put it in the chat anyway. And so his attorneys somehow convinced him to plead guilty because the FBI was threatening doing some other stuff, and also threatening to hassle his son and whatever. And they convinced him to plead guilty. Well, he finally said, let's just F this shit. And can I get, what the hell? Here, hang on. Let me find the name of this damn law firm, first of all. Because, is it going to be in here somewhere? Now, this is more about the... Okay, I don't know what that is. Anyway, this Covington law firm didn't even give his new lawyer all the documents from the case. And so, first of all, she had to fight with the old law firm to get all the documents of the case. She's had to fight with the FBI to get the documents that were the Brady documents, any documents they have that could have exculpatory evidence. She had to fight with them, and she had to fight with the judge, who was not necessarily the most cooperative. So everyone's like, fight. Well, anyway, these new documents, let's talk about the new documents. Good morning, Pete. Hello, how you doing? Also, good morning, Cynical Lindsay, and Jack Fernstrom, Becca Farley. I said Becca already, but that's okay. Eric Holder, thank you. Yeah, Eric Holder. Eric Holder's a partner in the law firm that was Michael Flynn's original lawyers in this. Go figure. And also, good morning, all you need. Hey, nice to see you. Nice to see you here when we're live. Okay, so here it is. Now, there's a whole bunch of little tweets here. I'm going to go through quite a few of them, and then I'll go through an article that kind of puts it all in one piece. But anyway, Catherine Herridge, who's with CBS News, used to be with Fox, and she moved over to CBS. Flynn DOJ official confirms CBS News U.S. attorney will join Flynn attorney Sidney Powell, calling for new records to be unsealed. Now, Attorney General Barr had directed U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Jensen, who's out of Missouri, to come and scrutinize the Flynn case. Now, this is odd because it's the Justice Department that is prosecuting, or General Flynn, right? But our Justice Department now is saying, hey, we should probably review this case because it's getting kind of, what's a good word for this? Shitty! Anyway, the first batch of docs, small, including handwritten notes, but review is delivering more. Now, the documents made public on Wednesday were obtained through a review that Attorney General William Barr ordered in January following persistent complaints by Flynn's attorneys and supporters that the former National Security Advisor and Defense Intelligence Agency chief was framed. That's according to Politico. Now, Sean Davis here says the Department of Justice just informed the federal court that it has found and turned over even more potentially exculpatory documents in the Flynn case that had been previously withheld. What is in these records? Well, according to the DOJ, they include messages between and among FBI personnel. And here's the document. Dear Counsel, as we disclosed by letter April 24, 2020, beginning in January 2020, at the direction of Attorney General William P. Barr, the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, USA EDMO, has been conducting a review of the Michael Flynn investigation. The enclosed documents were obtained and analyzed by USA EDMO, which is the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, in March and April 2020, and are provided to you as a result of this ongoing review. Additional documents may be forthcoming. These materials are covered by the protective order entered by the court on February 21st, 2018. It took them 2 years to get these documents ordered by the court. So, Catherine Harris continues. Flynn docs just unsealed, including handwritten notes on January 24th, 2017. Now, let's talk about that date. January 24th, 2017. Kind of remember it's about that is the president was having a meeting, and they were going to go in and have this meeting with they had a meeting with the president, and Flynn was there, and they started asking questions there. And then this is the day before they're about to meet with Flynn to interview him again. In the transcript of these notes is the statement, quote, "What is our goal? Truth, admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him and get him fired?" They're setting him up in the notes. No wonder they've been trying to not allow these notes to be seen. Here it is right here. Let's see, Catherine here. Come on, Cat. There we go. So here it is. Attorney transcript of FBI notes on April 24th, 2020. The government produced, among other things, a partial page of redacted handwritten notes to Mr. Flynn. The government supplemented that production on April 29th, 2020. With the full page of the redacted notes, a digitally enhanced version of those notes is attached, ECF number 185-3. The following is an attorney transcription of the reviewed version of the notes produced to Mr. Flynn on April 29th, 2020. And then it gives the order by the judge number. Here it is. There's something redacted, and here's what it says. We have a case on Flynn and Russians. Our goal is to resolve case. Our goal is to determine if Mike Flynn is going to tell the truth at his relationship with the Russians. Can, quote, redacted, shouldn't, redacted, blah, blah, blah. Could be good for our CI efforts, whatever that means. Interview, I agreed yesterday that we shouldn't show Flynn, redacted, if he doesn't admit. I thought at it last night, whatever that means, and I believe we should rethink this. What is our goal? Truth, admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him and get him fired? Now, let's see. Okay, this is just the people who did the... those are just who they sent it to. We regularly show subjects evidence with the goal of getting them to admit their wrongdoing. I don't see how getting someone to admit their wrongdoing is going easy on him. If we get him to admit to breaking the Logan Act. Now, that's the funny thing, too. What they were trying to do is getting him to admit that he was breaking the Logan Act, which is the act that says, you can't go and represent yourself as the representative of the United States if you're not part of that administration, and which is complete and utter bullshit. What Flynn was doing, as every incoming administration doing, does, was going around and meeting diplomats from different countries. So he was, that's his job if he's the national security advisor, to go out and talk to people and get familiar with them and whatnot. And they were trying to get him on a Logan Act violation, a law I don't even know if it's a law, that has never, ever once in the history of the United States been prosecuted. But they wanted him to admit to that, as he's the incoming national security advisor. Just such bullshit. Anyway, if we're seen as playing games, the White House will be furious. Protect our institution by not playing games. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And so let's see. Then here's the page of notes, and that's where it says that. So they went and reviewed these notes. So the docs just unsealed. Okay, hang on a second. I just read that already. And again, Kyle Chaney, same thing. The notes filed believed to be Jim Baker's, and they think they're Jim Baker's notes. So we're going to find out. It's going to be interesting. Who's going to get messed up with this? Because remember who interviewed Flynn. Now, the one person, they still haven't told you who the second person who interviewed him is. But we know who one of the people is that interviewed Michael Flynn. That would be Mr. Insurance Policy himself, Peter Strzok. Yes, of the Lovebird, Strzok and Page. I don't know. I don't even like to call them that. I just think they're having an affair, so what? But they gave us a treasure trove of text messages and emails and all this shit. So anyway, Baker appears to be leaning against anything that could be viewed as hurting the institution of the FBI, but it's not clear what subsequent deliberations occurred or how the decision was reached. Here, I'm going to do this as a thread because it's hard to... Okay, so here we go. In short, the new notes suggest that at least one prominent voice in the FBI at the time he wrote these notes leaned toward telling Flynn they caught him in a lie to get him to be truthful rather than sit on him to get him fired or prosecuted. Oh, who is Kyle Chaney? Let's see. Kyle Chaney is... Oh, he's a Politico reporter. Of course he's going to spin it that way. A colleague points out to me, we don't know if these notes are Baker's personal thoughts, questions, or if was he taking notes that reflect someone else's thoughts or questions. Also notable, within days of the Flynn interview, DOJ went straight to the White House. Acting Attorney General Sally Yates talked to McGahn about the interview and indicated they had caught Flynn in a lie. Flynn's subsequent explanation to the vice president resulted in him in getting fired. Oh, this is spin. The new FBI notes, likely former counterintelligence. The FBI notes, likely of former counterintelligence boss Bill Priestap, reflect deliberations at the upper levels of the FBI about how to respond if Flynn lied to the agents, whether to confront him on the spot or not. Is that what they're saying? The notes, however, have set off a furor among Trump allies who say it's a smoking gun evidence that Flynn was framed and that he must be pardoned or have the charges dropped. Now, it's funny because people are asking, how long till you admit that the Comey cabal tried to frame Trump? And this is LOL. How is the Trump campaign secretly meeting with Russians and other foreign figures and lying about it, framing Trump? Secretly? Secretly? If I remember right, that was a very public meeting with Kislyak. There's pictures of it. How is that secretly? Jesus Christ. These people are saying there's nothing nefarious on the FBI's part. Okay, let's get a little bit different take on this. All right, so there's that. Technofog, there's the picture of the notes again. Let's see what Red State says about it. Now, stunning. Newly released handwritten FBI notes show January 2017 Flynn interview was a setup. Okay, this is a different take. We have Politico's take. Now here's Red State's take. Investigative. I didn't say that very well. Good morning, Katie the Skate. How you doing? Investigative journalist John Solomon appeared on Lou Dobbs Tonight Wednesday and pre-announced what would be some very big news. A source told him that either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, handwritten notes by an FBI agent present at a meeting where they were deciding on the best way to frame General Flynn would be released. Incredibly, as I was just about to post, this is who's writing this? Someone named Elizabeth Vaughn is writing this. As incredibly, as I was just about to post, the documents were released. CBS News' Catherine Herridge posted the documents in a tweet which can be viewed below. The notes say, "What is our goal? Truth, admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him and get him fired?" That's a weird question to ask when you're going to interview somebody. So we can prosecute him or get him fired? Is that a goal? I mean, that's a choice of a goal, right? That's a choice of a goal to get the truth or an admission. A mission of what, right? Because it'd have to be something nefarious, right? Or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired. Well, that's an interesting goal. Anyway, please view Herridge and Technofog's tweets below. I'll be posting on this story, early there. This is huge. This is truly a game changer. So here's what Solomon told Dobbs prior to the release of the documents. "I think we're going to learn tonight or early tomorrow morning. We will see the release of some new handwritten notes that the FBI failed to turn over to General..." Now, wait a minute. And also the other question is, if these were good for the FBI, I'm just spitballing here, but if these notes were good for the FBI, why didn't they turn them over in the first place? Why did they have to wait 2 years to get these notes to his lawyers? Mr. Politico guy, John, whatever the hell your name was. Why, if they were good, if this is a good thing for the FBI, don't you think these would already be in the public domain? I did that clap thing, didn't I? We will see the release of some new handwritten notes that the FBI failed to turn over to General Flynn and his team over the 3-year course in this legal battle. They didn't turn over these notes over the course of 3 freaking years. And those notes are going to show that the FBI was engaged in a conversation about how they could trick General Flynn into lying. Rather than resolve the issues that the investigation was designed to, there are references in these notes, according to my sources, to, quote, play games, end quote. Do we want to resolve this or do we want to catch him in a lie? If those are in the notes, as my sources describe them, which they are, we found out now that they released them, it will put the FBI's work on the Flynn case in the darkest possible light. You'll actually have FBI proof that the FBI wasn't trying to investigate facts neutrally. It was trying to, quote, play the game, end quote. So Dobb follows up with play a game that we're trying to frame a General Flynn and the president's national security advisor for pure political reasons. It's outrageous. There's not much of a hypothetical there, is there? To which Solomon replied, I don't think these notes will leave any hypothesis left. It will be clear and convincing evidence, except to Politico, of course, as we've already found out, that the FBI engaged in conduct that it's not supposed to engage in. This was never designed, at least from these notes, to have been an honest interview. It was designed to try to entrap him. That's why you see Sidney Powell, the general's lawyer, using terms like framing and entrapment. I think these notes are going to make that case pretty strongly. Well, apparently not to any of the spin doctors at Politico, because he didn't seem convinced now, did he? Oh, this is how the right wing pounces. And then they have all the notes here showing up, yada, yada. And they have a video of that. So, amazing. I never did that Jesse Lee Peterson amazing thing, but amazing, right? Amazing. All right. Hey, gang, it is, I guess it's show time. Remember to share the stream. If you hit the share arrow down there, somewhere down there. You can share this stream out on Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr or Reddit. Reddit's one of them. Yes, Pinterest. Wherever you share things, wherever you do your social media-ing. Please share the stream out. We want to grow the channel 1,000 subscribers by July. But hey, I think we should do the Joe Biden challenge. Let's see if we can get PDawg more subscribers than Joe Biden. I'm gonna start using Twitter, and I think that's a funny idea, and I'm the first one to think of it, so I might just do that. And if you'd be so kind, if you like what we do, hit the like button sometime during the show. I'll remind you at the end, because you know, we do that. And then also, if you'd be so kind, or if you are inclined, or if you are able, and you'd like to throw some shekels at the PDawg, you can do that and have your super chats read over the course of the show, which would make you a permanent part of this particular episode, which is cool. And you can do that in the Streamlabs link down below. It's down there too, or it's in the chat. Oh, there it is. It's right there in the chat. It says, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and or have your super chats read live on the show. Click here. So that's where you can click. Good morning, Check Your Logic. Hey, you're here before the end of the show. That's awesome. I do appreciate you dropping in almost on the daily too, though. Okay, so what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and follow me on Twitter. Mine's Gab. That's the best way to get notifications. But if you're here and you're not subscribed, I would be shocked because YouTube doesn't send my stuff out to anywhere else. So I'm having a trouble time. I'm having some trouble time not coughing. Okay, hello, Smarty Bear. I see you're here too. And Amy in Connecticut. Oh, hey, Larry. I didn't see you. And Raymond Lewis. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people popping in that I just didn't notice. Okay, all right. Intensifies. Hello, Duck Dog. Is that why you're humming? I don't know. But anyway, all right, I think I've caught up on the people in the chat. All right, let's move on. Let's get a whole nother subject. And again, this is, I'm sorry. I forgot. I completely forgot. FTG to whoever wrote those notes. And I don't even know who it is, but it's FTG Thursday, so let's do an FTG for them, those assholes. Good morning, Johnny Blaze, Kyra Alexander, and I already said hi to Pete. So, hey, what's happening? All right, let's move on. You know, this is kind of follow-up day, apparently, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And apparently, Chris Hayes from MSNBC may have not gotten the memo. The memo that we're not supposed to talk about Joe Biden and Tara Reid. And he's kind of getting dragged a little bit on the Twitter place, but he did actually breach the subject on MSDNC, and it just reset. Oh my gosh. Where is it? Okay, so let's see. This is 2 minutes or so. So let's just go on and show you this one. He is getting harassed big time for even mentioning it. So here we go. Let's see. This is the one here. Let's see here.
And instead.
Oh no, this is.
I want you to take this to Joe.
Okay, this is Tara Reid. Props to Chris Hayes for being the first person on MSNBC to cover Tara Reid. Please listen to her in her own words. Let's listen to Tara Reid in her own words.
Wants it. He wants you to bring it. Hurry.
Oh,
and I said,
now I'm going to pause it because we have a super chat from Pete. Thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat with no message. Pete, okay, well, I cannot thank you enough. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Pete. Oh, by the way, everyone in the chat, if you're just getting here, it is D.I. Frater's birthday. Be sure to wish her a happy birthday. There you go. I'm going to break the rules and go see my grandkids. I have not seen them in almost 8 weeks. We are going to eat pizza and do target practice with our governor, Whitler targets. Okay. Just don't get caught. Marty, there was an early one as well. Early what? Early what? I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. All right, so here is Tara Reid in her own words. This is only about 2 minutes long.
Hey, and it was a gym bag. She said, take the gym bag. She called it athletic bag. And, she said he was down towards the Capitol and he'll meet you. And so I went down and I was heading down towards there. And he was at first talking to someone. I could see him at a different distance, and then they went away. And then we were in like the side. It was like the side area, and he just said, "Hey, come here, Tara." And then I handed him the thing, and he greeted me. He remembered my name. And then we were alone, and it was the strangest thing. There was no like exchange really. He just had me up against the wall, and I was wearing like a skirt and, you know, business skirt, but I wasn't wearing stockings. It was kind of a hot day that day, and I was wearing heels. And I remember my legs had been hurting from the marble, you know, of the Capitol, like walking. And so I remember that kind of stuff. I remember like that, and it was kind of an unusually warm day. And I remember I was wearing a blouse, and he just had me up against the wall, and the wall was cold. And I remember it happened all at once. The gym bag, I don't know where it went. I handed it to him, it was gone. And then his hands were on me and underneath my clothes. And yeah, and then he went down my skirt, but then up inside it, and he penetrated me with his fingers, whatever. And he was kissing me at the same time, and he was saying something to me. He said several things, and I can't remember everything he said. I remember a couple of things. I remember him saying first, before, like as he was doing it, "Do you want to go somewhere else?" And then him saying to me, when I pulled away, he got finished doing what he was doing, and I kind of was pulled back, and he said, "Come on, man, I heard you liked me." And
so anyway, now that's just her story. I don't know if it's true or false. I don't know anything about it. I'm not making any claims. I'm not making any claims of evidence, but the fact that Chris Hayes actually talked about it yesterday on MSNBC is shocking. So here's Chris Hayes, just part of his segment here.
In terms of the sort of, you know, I think one of the things that happened in the Me Too era was thinking about how to evaluate claims like this and what evidence is sort of corroborative and what's dispositive, and the fact that in almost all cases it's extremely difficult to arrive at some definitive accounting in the sort of evidentiary record. I will say that in following this, one of the things that happened in Me Too and a piece of evidence that has risen in how I evaluate these stories is a somewhat contemporaneous disclosure to a trusted person who then tells a reporter about it. That is what has happened here, and to me that has been, in terms of what the evidentiary record is, has raised it a bit in my own view of this.
Okay, so anyway, what he's saying is that she told people about it at the time, and there are people who are corroborating it, which is far more than Christina Blasey Ford had. She has no one who, she didn't tell anybody at the time. Nobody's corroborating it, anything. And apparently Tara Reid told different people. Now, obviously, people are complaining because some of the story has changes to it. But there, you know, who knows what reasons that could be changes. But it's strange, though. Will Chamberlain says, I went to MSNBC's YouTube channel, and I couldn't find a clip of Chris Hayes talking about Tara Reid and Joe Biden. Almost like MSNBC would like to memory hole that segment for eternity. Fascinating that they dumped the thing. Somebody here named, let's see here. Really, now this is Carlos Maza. Oh, now Carlos Maza. Now it updates. This is moving fast here. A lot of people talking about this. Blame people. Okay. This is the Minnesota Voice, which is fascinating that I would get something from the Minnesota Voice, because that is theirs. Anyway, blame people like Chris Hayes, Ari Melber, CNN, MSNBC, AOC, and Bernie when Trump will implement Tea Party policies, appoint replacement for RBG. They all should remember the role they played in re-electing him. Stop falling for the Tara Reid smear campaign. So even reporting on this is a smear campaign. Gee, Should they have reported anything about Christina Blasey Ford? Oh wait, that's different. Float blue crowd coming for Chris Hayes for reporting Tara Reade's allegations against Joe Biden is definitely not something I envisioned for 2020. You know what else is really weird? If you go on the Drudge Report, now think about this. If you're familiar with the Drudge Report and the origins of the Drudge Report, and Matt Drudge's modus operandi. If you go and search for Reade, R-E-A-D-E, on the Drudge Report, 0 results come up. 0 results come up on Matt Drudge's report that say Reade. Now, it's news. You would think it was news, but then again, if you think about it, it's hard to find on any of the news channels. MSNBC, Memory Hold, that particular segment by Chris Hayes. Can I get an FTG for MSNBC? But kudos to Chris Hayes. Now, granted, the only reason he said something about it is because now that there's people that she talked to at the time, he's taking it seriously. Okay, there you go. By the way, Gunfox, were you talking about This Is Kyle? Because I did mention Kyle right at the beginning of the show, so I do appreciate you helping me out and keeping me on my toes, but I did actually get that one. So anyway, and some people are saluting Chris Hayes, and some people are dragging Chris Hayes. The rap news, the MSNBC's Chris Hayes praised and derided for covering Tara Reade's sexual assault accusations against Joe Biden. Let's see, who is this? The shunning of Nina Turner and Joy in the process too. If, like Weaver, wanted to make sure we support Biden no matter which puts the rape apologist tag into play. And even Chris Hayes got chewed last night for going after Biden, and the wealthy people attack Tara Reade. This is getting her no love from the Democrats. She is a Democrat, liberal, whatever. I don't know. Biden supporters calling for Chris Hayes to be fired for his Tara Reade story is extremely dangerous and an attack on any media that isn't directly linked to corporate DNC interest. This is really blue MAGA. Ugh, boy. Some people are proud. Anyway, so it's getting a little messy over at MSNBC. We're gonna see if Chris Hayes still has a job by the end of the week. Maybe will Chris Hayes be part of the Friday news dump? Anyway, all right, let's move on. A little Corona apocalypse news, and this is I can't decide if this is good, bad, shocking, or otherwise. Well, it is definitely shocking. The World Health Organization apparently is now lauding lockdown ignoring Sweden as a model for countries going forward. Say what? The World Health Organization lauded Sweden as a model for battling the coronavirus as countries lift lockdowns after the nation controversially refused restrictions. Dr. Mike Ryan, the WHO's top emergencies expert, said Wednesday there are lessons to be learned from the Scandinavian nation, which has largely relied on its citizens to self-regulate. Thank you. By the way, Cynical Lindsay sent me this, and thank you for sending it to me. Say what? Say what? You mean we did all this lockdown stuff for nothing?
How dare you?
Quote, I think there's a perception out that Sweden has not put in control measures and just allowed the disease to spread, Ryan told reporters. Nothing can be further from the truth. Ryan noted that instead of lockdowns, the country has put in place a very strong public policy around social distancing and caring and protecting people in long-term care facilities, which is one place where we kind of, Grant, like I said, you always know which receiver is open on instant replay. And I think some of these governors, particularly Governor Cuomo, who is sending people back to care facilities and nursing homes and things like that after they got out of the hospital. Now we're finding out that was probably one of the biggest mistakes they could have made, because people in those homes have been they've become big clusters of people who have died from this. But anyway, what it has done differently is it has very much relied on its own relationship with its citizenry and the ability and willingness of its citizens to implement self-distancing and self-regulate, Ryan said. In that sense, they have implemented public policy through that partnership with the population. He said the country also ramped up testing and had adequate capacity in hospitals to handle outbreaks. Now, let's check that, because testing-wise, let's find Sweden right here. Sweden, tests per million population, 11,833. Total tests, 119,000. But that 11,000 per million, well, we're at 18,000 per million. Spain's at 31,000 per million. Italy's 31,000 per million. France, 7,000. Okay, they're less. The UK is 12,000 per million. And they all have more cases. Germany, 30,000 per million. Now, they seem to have a very few cases relative to these other 5 top countries in cases. I do wonder, though, right now, Germany, their number of deaths is their number of cases is suddenly rising again. They're not sure why, and so they're looking at even doing more lockdowns, which if you look at Sweden, may or may not be necessary. But it's interesting that they laud the testing there, where, there's a lot of countries. Portugal has a lot more testing, but have had, their death per million is not that high. So Sweden is about 256 per million population who have died. If you compare that to the United States, is 186. So they've had 100 more per million die at Sweden than they have in the United States, but far less than Spain, Italy, France, UK, Belgium. Belgium is actually very high per million population. Same with Netherlands. So, and Switzerland. So, but they're not out of line with a lot of these other numbers. It's a little bit lower than others in Sweden. Again, that could be that they're upper in that green temperature zone that we looked at that map that one day. So who knows? Anyway, so the WA, it continues. The country, which has a population of 10.3 million, which the country's population is smaller than, less than half the size in New York City. I'm sorry, for the whole country, has seen more than 20,300 cases and 2,462 deaths as of Thursday afternoon, far higher than its Nordic neighbors, which implemented stricter containment measures, the latest data shows. By contrast, Denmark has recorded 9,200. Wait a minute. So they compare it with Denmark. How about, let's see here. Let's look at Denmark. Denmark, fewer cases, but is it, where is it? Somewhere in here. Denmark, fewer cases and also fewer deaths per million. But you know what? I still don't know if it could be where the clusters happen. It could be who traveled there. There's so many factors that may have nothing to do with whether or not they lock down. It's just who travels to Denmark versus who travels to Sweden. Are there more people from northern Italy who travel to Sweden for some reason than they would to Denmark? Or are there more people from Wuhan who would travel more to Sweden than to Denmark or any of the other countries? It's really about travel patterns. It's really about, but you guys are fried. It's about killing us, not about organizational survival. I'm not sure what you mean there, Cairo Alexander. Or there's someone or something over them that wants total destruction. It's kind of an old story. But anyway, Sweden's approach has been criticized by 2,300 academics Yeah, you can get 2,300 academics to pen a letter about anything if you really. You could 2,300 academics. What does that even mean? Okay, if you said if you went out and put a cattle call out to all the academics of the world and said, "Hey, I want you to join me on this letter criticizing something," I think you could find 2,300 on either side of just about any issue for the most part, except Donald Trump, because they all hate Trump, but whatever. The approach has been criticized by 2,300 academics who penned a letter last month calling for the government to reconsider those loose restrictions. Agence France Presse reported. We must establish control over the situation. We cannot head into a situation where we get complete chaos. No one has tried this route, so why should we test it first in Sweden without informed consent, said Cecilia Soderberg-Nuclear, a professor at the Karolinska Institute. Well, apparently the WHO thinks that that could be the model that people should follow, so who knows? That blows me away, though. That just blows me away. So Sweden and South Dakota, according to the WHO, got it right. I wonder if there's anyone at the WHO who even knows where South Dakota is. I'm just curious. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry, but I'm still gonna say FTG WHO because it's Thursday. And there you go. All right, here's a new one for you. And Professor Crunk, if you're not familiar with that person, is at it again. And she says, Professor Crunk says, fuck each and every Trump supporter. A Rutgers University professor says Trump supporters are to blame for people dying in the coronavirus pandemic. In her comments, she wrote, fuck each and every Trump supporter. I'm not going to make a who's fucking up the food supply joke here, but Rutgers University Associate Professor of Women. Wait a minute. I'm going to read this again. Rutgers University Associate Professor of Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, Brittany Cooper, says Trump supporters are to blame for the disproportionate number of Black Americans who have died as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. It's racist. Okay, before I even read another sentence in this stupidity, this fucketry, where exactly are a vast majority of these cases where the disproportionate number of Black people dying are? I believe that would be New York City and New Jersey and Michigan. Cuomo, de Blasio, Whitler, whatever they call her, Whitman. In a tweet thread on Tuesday, Cooper wrote, I feel like most Black people are clear that this is utterly absurd to push to reopen the country is all about a gross necro-political calculation that it is Black people who are dying disproportionately from COVID. Not only do white conservatives not care about Black life, but my most cynical negative read of the white supremacists among them is that they welcome this massive winnowing of Black folk in order to slow demographic shifts and shore up political power.
Wow.
She went on to say that Trump supporters are, quote, literally willing to die from this clusterfucked COVID response rather than admit that absolutely anybody other than him would have been a better president, specifically criticizing Trump for his comments on disinfectants. No, not his comments on disinfectants. The press method of reporting his comments on disinfectants. But I'll continue. She says, I'm saying some obvious things this morning because as a country, we are too good at skipping over the audience, and we might as well say this to people as often as we can. Fuck each and every Trump supporter. Y'all all absolutely did this. You are to blame, she added. Cooper has a history of making inflammatory comments about Trump supporters and conservatives in general on campus reform. As campus reform previously reported, Cooper said Christian conservatives worship an asshole with God, with nothing holy, loving, righteous, inclusive, liberatory theology sound about him. She also said that Trump's policies are responsible for black female obesity. Remember this? This is that lady. Remember? She's saying that Trump's policies are responsible for black female obesity. I almost said a word that I probably just shouldn't use too often when talking about women, but bitch, please! You were fat before Trump ever even thought about running for president. Yeah, I said it. Can we get an FTG for Professor Crunk? And that's not my name for her. That's actually what she calls herself. Yeah, boy. All right, moving on. And here I foreshadowed this next one, and I know you're just waiting. You are waiting breathlessly for this one. I know you're waiting for this one, and I saved it for the last article for today, and then we move into some other stuff. So we know that Joe Biden having some troubles, and with the Tara Reade story and the fact that he can't complete a sentence and they can't make it through his own live stream without falling asleep, and just the little problems that Joe Biden's having. We all know that he's having them, and as Biden struggles, Hillary awaits for the call. Oh, I used this wrong size. There we go. So you can see the whole article. This is by Liz Peek, an opinion contributor at The Hill. Hillary Clinton continues to hover in the wings, ready to step forward should Joe Biden fail, which almost seems inevitable. She continues, don't look now, but Joe is failing. Not only has his campaign been rocked by sexual assault allegations from one-time staffer Tara Reade, but the public is beginning to give up on the former vice president. A new Emerson College poll showed 57% of likely voters think President Trump will win re-election in November. Remember, establishment Democrats put forward Uncle Joe because he was the safe candidate bound to defeat Trump. Oops. I'm just reading it dramatically because that's what she wrote. That's not the only problem that crops up in the Emerson poll. It also shows Trump supporters 19 points more enthusiastic about their candidate than Biden supporters. That enthusiasm gap will drive turnout this fall, with Democrats dependent on young people and minorities, both typically less reliable voters. That lack of excitement for a candidate could be a big problem. Now, I thought that black women carry the Democratic Party. Should they really actually, should they? No, I'm not even going to say it. Let me just finish this article before I say something really crazy. Also, less than gung-ho about Biden is predictably Bernie Sanders' army. Oh, shocker. Though the Vermont Socialist has endorsed Biden, according to the New York Times, Trump has a monster cat. Oh, wait, wrong. I'm sorry. Though the Vermont Socialist has endorsed Biden, 51% of Bernie supporters are, according to Emerson, open to voting for a third-party candidate. Another red flag is Biden's tepid fundraising. According to the New York Times, Trump has a monster cash advantage of $187 million. Now that's fascinating because back in 2016, Hillary Clinton spent double what Trump spent. And all she got was a t-shirt. I'm with her. Further, in swing state polling, the presumptive Democratic nominee is running behind where Hillary Clinton stood at this point in the race. And we know how that turned out. Yeah, the polls were worse than that. Anyway, as all of those issues cast doubt on Biden's prospect, the presumptive nominee now must fend off Tara Reade's allegations, which put Me Too supporting Democrats in an incredibly awkward spot. They're talking about you, Kirsten Gillibrand, or any other woman who runs with Joe Biden. Let's just put it that way. Stacey Abrams or Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren. It doesn't matter. You're in an awkward spot if you run with Joe. None of this augurs well, whatever that means. That doesn't sound right. For the Biden campaign, which will likely confront further obstacles in the months ahead. Eventually, the coronavirus will no longer excuse the former VP's invisibility. He will have to engage in the kind of give and take that often shows him getting befuddled, including real, not scripted, town halls and interviews. At that point, the public will see that what numerous Democrats have noted, sotto voce, or sotto voce. Excuse me. Obama's former wingman is struggling with some cognitive decline. Oh my God. Who is this author? Liz Peek. I think Liz Peek's going to get canceled too. We really cannot elect a president who mixes up his sister with his wife. Why not? It worked for Ilhan Omar. Or who collapses in mid-sentence, unsure of where he's going next. Democrats' obstacles to pushing Biden aside is Sanders. The Vermont senator was the runner-up in the primaries and continues to hold on to his delegates. Democratic leaders do not want to see Sanders resurgent. No, the DNC does not want Bernie Sanders. They've made that clear. Good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
But they also know that if they move to replace Biden at the top of the ticket and don't elevate Sanders, the Bernie Bros will revolt. Indeed, it seems clear that party officials are so worried Sanders might stage another run that they canceled the 224 delegate-rich New York State primary. That was dirty. Now, granted, there's a provision in the New York Democratic Party that if candidates suspend their campaigns, they got this passed into law that they can remove them from ballots. So anyway, hello, Aceleri 2. If you're new, welcome, and if you've been here before, well, welcome anyway. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and that other thing. Click that bell so you get notified. Okay. Indeed, it seems clear that party officials are so worried Sanders might stage another run, they canceled the 224 delegate-rich New York State primary. They claimed the vote would have been dangerous in that epicenter of COVID-19, but since they still plan to host a primary for state and local officials, that excuse seems kind of weak. I would agree. As the primaries roll forward, and especially with officials' thumb on the scales, Biden will almost certainly win the candidacy. In the absence of a brokered convention, how could Democrats replace their standard bearer? Now, if you know who H.A. Goodman is, this has been a prediction of his from the very beginning of the primary season. When all those candidates were up there on the stage, H.A. Goodman said that Hillary Clinton will be the nominee. And he's talked about this nonstop for months now, and everyone kind of laughs at him, and I kind of even laugh at him, but I'm like, oh my God, you know, how is H.A. Goodman, could H.A. Goodman have been right all along? One idea has been to convince Biden to step aside in favor of the very popular Michelle Obama, seen as a sure bet to beat Trump. I don't know about that, but maybe. So far, though, the former First Lady has reportedly rebuffed all invitations to enter the fray. I don't know about that. That leaves Hillary Clinton. Biden could choose Clinton as his running mate and then step down before the election and allow Hillary to run in his place. And it's funny because when they were on that little live stream the other day, I don't know why, but the feeling rushed over me like a big rainfall that if Biden chose Hillary as running mate and stepped down, I was thinking the same damn thing. Hello, Lexi Mads. I was thinking the same damn thing. I was like, was H.A. Goodman right? Was he right? I don't know. If you don't know who H.A. Goodman is, he's a journalist. He used to be a big-time Bernie bro, and I started watching his channel. He was still a Bernie bro during the 2016 election, but he was adamant that Bernie Sanders could beat Donald Trump if he were the nominee. And then when they started cheating Bernie Sanders, and he was like, wait a minute, there's something fishy here, and they got into the WikiLeaks shit, and he was livid, and then he's become like this all-out Trump supporter all this, over the last few years, and he thinks Bernie's just too weak and whatever, and he's actually into the Second Amendment now. He's like completely changed from Bernie bro to he's a total Trump guy now, which I found fascinating. But yeah, he's been predicting that Hillary Clinton is going to be the nominee for the Democrats. And I was like, how are they going to do that? How are they going to take all those Bernie delegates and, But if the party says to Joe Biden, all right, Joe, you've been our puppet long enough. Now you need to pick a vice president nominee. And they say, Joe, we need you to pick Hillary Clinton as your vice president. He said he guaranteed that he was going to choose a woman. Well, Hillary Clinton is a woman, right? And then he steps down at the last minute, too late for Bernie to protest. Now, here's what's going to happen, though. If that does happen, Hillary Clinton's not going to beat Trump this time either, because the Bernie bros would set the world on fire. They will burn this mother down. Be like, that little saying, the roof is on fire. We don't need no Hillary. Let the motherfucker burn. That's what you'd be singing. I'm just saying. That leaves Hillary Clinton. Biden could choose Clinton as his running mate, then step down before the election to allow Hillary to run in his place. Clinton is the only VP candidate who would be able to pull off such a last-minute switch. She has the team, the resources, and the experience to be the nominee. Senator Amy Klobuchar and former Georgia State Representative Stacey Abrams and Senator Kamala Harris do not. Clinton is ready and eager. She is desperate to avenge her 2016 loss, which she still blames on Putin, silly fool, and has pumped up her public profile to keep herself in consideration. Now, you noticed the other day, too, when they said something about Hillary Clinton endorsing Joe Biden. She really didn't, though. And she kind of did, but then, you know, of all these people who've endorsed Joe Biden, you know, if you go on Joe Biden's YouTube channel, which I would like to try to get more subs than, I think that would be hilarious. Just some nobody like me getting more subs than Joe Biden. I think that'd be hilarious. Anyway, what was I saying? If I'm having a Joe Biden moment right now. If she became the nominee again, she's going to lose. She's going to lose again. You know, she wants to avenge her 2016 loss, for which she still blames Putin, and has pumped up her public profile to keep herself in consideration. Oh, she did endorse. She's the only person who's endorsed Joe Biden who hasn't been put on Joe Biden's YouTube channel. Like the endorsement, like everyone else, you go through and all these people who've endorsed Joe Biden, it's this. But she's not on there. And I wonder why. I don't know why, but it's anyway. In the past months, she has conducted endless interviews, promoted the uber flattering 4-part Hulu film about herself, made headlines by attacking Bernie Sanders and Mark Zuckerberg, and fired unending broadsides against President Trump. Most recently, she joined Vice President Biden at a town hall devoted to women's issues, during which she effusively endorsed her longtime colleague, reminisced about their time together in the Obama administration, talked about their mutual love for Scranton, Pennsylvania. Oh, that was so heartwarming. Where her father grew up, and recalled meetings in the Situation Room. Yes, she was showing her own bona fides, not Joe Biden's. It was hilarious. It was pretty transparent, actually. In fact, Clinton talked so much about their shared history that it was easy to forget that she was endorsing Joe Biden. It almost sounded as though she were touting her own resume instead. Too bad it's not a resume of accomplishments. It's a resume of what you've been elected to and been appointed to. But when it comes to actual accomplishments, Hillary, I could recycle my video from 2016 if you want. And maybe she was. How would Hillary stack up as a nominee this time around? Hillary certainly looks stronger and more fired up than Biden. Yes, she does. She has the energy he lacks, kind of, at least when she's sitting down and talking over the internet. She has a bigger following on social media, 28 million Twitter followers, compared to 5 million, for instance. Yeah, I don't know if she has a YouTube channel, but I don't know if I could beat that. I could beat Joe Biden's, though. And she has a large devoted following who, like Hillary, still cannot believe she lost in 2016. Believe it! She could count on President Obama to campaign for her. Yeah, why did it take Obama so long to endorse Joe Biden? Oh, by the way, she has the energy. Where'd she say that? Or said something about she has the energy he lacks. Yeah, he didn't fall asleep during that town hall. Anyway, she could count on President Obama to campaign for her, as Biden also can, and she would also have the ever popular husband Bill helping out. Now, there may be a minor problem there. Bill Clinton was popular. However, I'm not necessarily convinced that he is popular. Bill Clinton's problems from the past have, if you ever talk about, the Me Too stuff and how, if you ever read these little Me Too articles and Bill Clinton comes up, they don't give him a pass anymore. Also, Bill Clinton, you could say perhaps that some of Bill Clinton's statements during the Obama run could be drugged back up again and again and again, talking how about this guy would be serving us coffee back in our day. So I don't know. I don't know if Bill Clinton is... And also, here's the other part of the Bill Clinton problem. Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think, just maybe... Because remember, the Jeffrey Epstein case isn't necessarily over. Remember, they're still trying to find out where some of these people came from, or were coming and going from Jeffrey Epstein's place. They're, Wait, what is that noise? Jeffrey Epstein, that case is not over. And I'm just thinking, could that suddenly blow up this year too? Kind of like Tara Reid. Just wondering. And also all the other stuff. Think about this. So they just found this stuff, regarding General Flynn. How much more of that stuff's going to be dripping out this year? How much? I think it's going to be devastating. And we're going to find out how bad the government or the FBI or whatever, I think we're going to find out how badly these people actually acted. I think it's going to be a scandal of epic proportions. And there's still stuff coming about the Epstein case. Are they going to find out who killed Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, you're right. Don't get sad. Good morning, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Anyway, Hillary is hideously polarizing, but she would be far more forceful nominee than Biden, has enormous name recognition, and perhaps the most important, can begin and end a sentence without major detours. Oh, snap. And she has not been credibly accused of sexual assault. Hillary may be Democrats' nominee of last resort, and she wants it. Okay, Liz Peek is a former partner of a major bracket Wall Street firm, Wortham and Company. Of course, Hillary's backers are from Wall Street. Shocker! Anyway, all right, let's get into the end of the show stuff right now. Real quick, a couple more. Thank you, Lindsay, for retweeting the show or tweeting the show out again. I'll put a little like there and a retweet just because I'd like to do that. Again, if you're watching after the fact, please share the show either way. Also, I'm going to start, as of starting today, I'm going to put shorter clips of the show out, segments out as separate videos. And I'm going to start doing that on a regular basis so that if you ever want to share those, a 10-minute clip is easier to watch to get to know somebody, and then maybe we'll grow that way too. So I'm going to start not only doing clips for the show, but also making videos. I keep threatening to make videos, and I still haven't made one. But I do have clips coming out today at 11 and 2, which I think I'm going to have that be kind of a regular thing. So we'll take one segment, 2 segments of the show each day, and put those out. Look into BitChute. I am already on BitChute, Gunfox. Thanks for reminding me. Same channel, same thing, PDawg Night, and for the most part, all of my YouTube videos automatically upload to BitChute also. So just so you know that. All right, let's get into Twitter Trends today. Let's click the tab, see what's at the top of the tab. But I'm going to guess what it is. Oh, shocker. It is coronavirus. Potential vaccine by Oxford University could have early results by June or July. That is some amazing news. Let's click the tab here. Pharmaceutical giant AstraZeneca has teamed up with Oxford University to develop and manufacture a potential vaccine against COVID-19. You can read about that on Twitter there. Updates. South Korea reports 0 locally transmitted cases for the first time since January. Public health, let's see. Okay, this is just a whole bunch of things to click that they don't say anything. But yeah, that's the biggest news, that AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford are teaming up to develop and manufacture a vaccine for coronavirus with the aim of building capacity to produce 100 million doses by the end of the year if it is shown to be effective. Well, we're kind of already on that too. We've already sent a couple different versions to trial, and also the Rezinivar, or whatever that's called. I can't remember what the drug's called, but as far as mitigating symptoms, they found that it is very effective. It's one of the drugs that Trump mentioned in a press conference the same week that you mentioned hydrochloroquine. Although hydrochloroquine got all the press, he also mentioned that they were doing trials on that particular drug, and that particular drug is actually showing some very promising results. The total number of global cases has surpassed 3.2 million, including more than 986,000 recoveries. More than 228,000 people have died, according to the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center. 30 million Americans have filed for unemployment since the pandemic began. Because, it's funny, we were having the discussion today because one of my coworkers at UPS was saying that his daughter, filed for unemployment. And, she had just started the job like a few months ago. She was, 12, 13 bucks an hour. And on unemployment, she's got the unemployment, and they're giving her an extra $600 a week. So the company that she works for said, hey, we're ready to have people come back. And she's like, oh my God, do I have to come back? I'm making so much more money just being unemployed. Literally, they're paying you an extra $600 a week on top of what your normal unemployment compensation would be. So of course it's gonna get hard to get people to want to go back to work. They're making more money being unemployed. It's nuts. That was one of the many dumb things they did in that whole whatever recovery bill. But some of it, you gotta go. Okay, they forced these businesses to go not work, and then so now they're trying to help them pay their employees, keep their employees, but then they do the unemployment thing. I don't know. Anyway, Spain records its lowest daily death toll in 6 weeks. South Korea reports 0 locally transmitted cases in the last 24 hours. So there you go. That's enough for the COVID-19. Let's hit the Twitter trends for today. Andy Dalton's trending number 1. The Cincinnati Bengals are releasing quarterback Andy Dalton. If you're a Bengals fan, I don't know if there is such a thing. I suppose there are a few. I liked the Bengals back in the early 90s, partially because they had a center named Dave Rimington, who was one of the greatest centers from the University of Nebraska ever to play football at the University of Nebraska, and he played for the Bengals for a while, so I followed the Bengals back then. Anyway, yeah, Andy Dalton. Okay, I'm not even going to click it because I think it's just people going to be trashing him. Anyway, Beautiful Harry's. Here's the thing. It's trending number 2. I don't know what it is, and it makes me nervous. So before I click it, I'm going to put my face up here, and it is, what is this? Okay, I don't know. Okay, I've got your face hung up high in the gallery. What is Beautiful Harry? It's a bunch of... Oh, who is this guy? Who's the... Okay, this has to do with Harry Styles. That he's the I couldn't tell you a Harry Styles song to save my life. But anyway, it's something about people who are showing pictures with Harry Styles. Should we just search romantic comedies on Netflix and see what we find? Beautiful Harrys. I don't know what that means, but a lot of women putting pictures of themselves and then talking about Harry Styles. I have no idea what it means, so I'm done with that particular thing. Thursday thoughts as opposed to Thursday thoughts, but we might find a thought or two in the Thursday thoughts. This video made my morning. 2 bags of seeds, too good to be true. I have no idea what it means, but this is a bird. It's kind of funny.
So you want me to enter this? Nah, it's cool. Nah. But you can use this flotation device. What they say, they floating. They can be hating. Put both feet. If you put both feet, we'll give you a big bag of seeds. See, damn it, man. See, premium from Costco. Now I have to contemplate. I have to consider. Ooh, I'm aquaphobic, man. Costco.
This is kind of funny,
I
actually.
have to be aquaphobic. Flotation device for the seeds. Just good. So you're saying I can trust you with this thing here? The decision is for you to make for the seeds. Is the flotation device trustable? Yeah, I'm aquaphobic. Yes. Okay, let me give you. Okay, big bag of seeds for me. Big bags of seeds indeed, but is it worth it? Aquaphobia, I can't swim. I don't think it's worth it. Okay, 2 bags of seeds. 2 bags of seeds? Yeah. Nah, that's too good.
Okay, that's hilarious. Whatever it is, I have no idea what it was, but it is on the Thursday thoughts. Here's a Thursday thought. Butterflies traveling together are called a kaleidoscope. I did not know that. Did you know that butterflies traveling together are called a kaleidoscope? That's a Thursday thought. Here's a Thursday thought. In Greek mythology, Pistis was the personified goddess of honesty, trust, reliability, and good faith. Her Roman counterpart was Fides. She was one of the good spirits which escaped Pandora's box, but she fled back to Olympus. There you go. Thursday thoughts. And it's also National Honesty Day, which means the entire city of Washington, D.C. will be struck by lightning today. And then here's somebody, Grant Stern, who hates Trump. Donald Trump's COVID-19 confessionals are completely recorded. It's not too late, GOP. You can remove him from office. More people can be saved. No, you can't. It's a virus. You can't save any more people. And just stop with this bullshit, okay? Sorry. And so, okay, here's our final Thursday thought. A smart person knows what to say. A wise person knows whether or not to say it. So that is a good Thursday thought. And maybe a little Thursday wisdom for you. Let's move on in the trends today. We'll go through this a little faster. Flynn is trending. We know why. New documents appear to show how FBI handled General Michael Flynn's investigation. We went through that earlier. We're going to move on. Karen Pence says that the vice president didn't know about Mayo Clinic's was unaware of the Mayo Clinic's policy on wearing masks. And you know what? I don't think it matters. I think people just want to find reasons to shit on Mike Pence because he's part of the Trump administration. She said Thursday that Vice President Pence had been unaware of Mayo Clinic's policy requiring all visitors to wear a face covering until after he left the facility on Tuesday. As our medical experts have told us, wearing a mask prevents you from spreading the disease, and knowing he doesn't have COVID-19, he didn't wear one, she said on Fox and Friends. It was actually after he left Mayo Clinic that he found out they had a policy asking everyone to wear a mask. Apparently they didn't ask him to wear a mask. If they would have asked, I bet you know what? I will bet you. I'm going to read this. Hopefully we'll see if it's in the article. If he was wearing a mask, or if they asked him to wear a mask, I bet he would have. Can you see any reason that Mike Pence would have said, we have a policy that everyone has to wear a mask? I don't think I'm going to wear a mask. I doubt if that happened. So here we go. So someone who has worked on this whole task force for over 2 months is not someone who would have done anything to offend anyone or hurt anyone or scare. That's the other thing. That's not Mike Pence. Mike Pence he comes off as Mr. Nice Guy all the time. And so I doubt very much that he refused to wear a mask. I'm pretty sure that he just went through there and they never said anything because he's the vice president of the United States. If they would have asked him to wear a mask, I bet he would. The vice president visited the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, or visit to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota was intended to highlight research being done on treatment of the coronavirus, specifically how the blood of recovering patients can be used. But the trip was largely overshadowed by his decision not to wear a face covering in defiance. Now, defiance means that is he actually said he refused. That's what defiance is, as opposed to, as opposed to the policy. Okay, defiance is a deliberate act. That's interesting that they use that word. Pence was the only individual spotted without a mask during his visit as he participated in a tour and held a roundtable discussion with physicians, nurses, and researchers. Everyone else was seen on camera with Pence has mask on, including Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Stephen Hahn. On Tuesday, the clinic tweeted, then deleted a message that it informed Pence of its masking policy prior to his arrival in Rochester. Mayo shared the masking policy with the VP's office, the clinic said in an emailed statement after the tweet. Okay, so they very may well have. Did he forget? Did they remind him when he got there? Did they offer him a mask? And did he refuse it? That's my question. The Mayo Clinic issued guidance on April 13th requiring all patients and visitors to wear a face covering or a mask in accordance with the updated recommendations from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The clinic said it would provide masks for those who did not bring their own. The vice president defended his decision at the time, saying that the CDC guidance on masks is meant to prevent those with the virus from spreading it because he tested regularly and was aware he was negative for the virus. He reasoned the mask was not necessary. Pence is scheduled to travel to Indiana on Thursday to visit General Motors facility making ventilators. Okay, so that's why he's trending, and I'm sure it's just more people that are. That's why Karen Pence is trending, and I'm not even gonna read any more tweets because I'm sure it's just people ripping Karen Pence, and I don't care. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, apparently a new game coming out, or it's been out. Let's see, some beautiful screenshots from the Assassin's Creed Valhalla world premiere trailer. So yep, that game's coming out soon. I like that. Assassin's Creed is one of those games that I really like to play when it first came out. First few different iterations of that, I really enjoyed that game. Thursday vibe, we're going to skip Chris Hayes. We know why Chris Hayes is trending. Let's see if there's any. Oh, Fire Chris Hayes is trending. Whoa. Now, Glenn Greenwald, who is a very far left journalist, but he doesn't take the bullshit bait, says Chris Hayes has been one of the media's most virulent, relentless, and arguably effective Trump critics, and all-consuming loathing for the president. But Fire Chris Hayes was trending because he covered the sex assault allegations against Biden. Shows what MSNBC has cultivated. Oh, damn. Glenn Greenwald, spitting fire. Chris Hayes is getting pounded by Democrats for making the mortal mistake of covering Tara Reade's sexual assault accusations against Biden. Chris didn't get the memo that he's only supposed to pretend to care about women being abused when it serves Democrats' quest for power. Ouch, babe. All right, I'm not going to read more. Oh, June, Shoe on Head says, Base Chris Hayes, sorry about your sudden decision to quit MSNBC next week. This is where I saw it last night. She did that. All right. Okay, and then let's see. All right, we're going to move on. Chris Hayes, Red Rifle is trending. Something about NFL. The Red Rifle. What does that mean? I, for one, am excited to see the forthcoming Andy Dalton to Dalton Keene connection when the Red Rifle inevitably sides with New England. Oh, they're calling Andy Dalton the Red Rifle. Is he gonna go to New England? I don't know. Is that his nickname, the Red Rifle? Because he's red. He actually does have quite the arm, but I don't know how the Bungles have done so well. Anyway, Amber Riley's trending. Something music, I don't care. Impeach for Life is trending. Of course, the hashtags that the left like to get going. Waking up to find Impeach for Life and Trump meltdown trending tells me today is going to be a good day. I love waking up to Twitter, things like impeach for life, just to start my days off with the best kind of chuckle. Thank you. So why is this trending though? This entire Pence thing is idiotic. You're the VP. Everyone around you is wearing a mask. Put on a fucking mask. It's not controversial. It's common sense. He and Karen Pence must literally be two of the world's most stupid people. And Trump is still impeached for life. Okay, I don't know why it's trending, just because. Oh, because Christine Pelosi tweeted it. Every charge is a confession. We can't let the fake news and their partner, the radical left, do nothing. Democrats get away with stealing the election. They tried that in 2016. How did that work out? Okay. All right. That's their. That's how they get to have their fun. Steve Forbes trending, something to do with college basketball. Why is Steve Forbes and college basketball trending together? Is this a different Steve Forbes? Oh, Wake Forest is expected to hire Eastern Tennessee State University's Steve Forbes as a student men's basketball coach, according to multiple sources. That's why I was. What does Steve Forbes have to do with college basketball? Well, there is a guy named Steve Forbes who is a coach at he was at Eastern Tennessee State University, and now he's going to Wake Forest. Okay, that explains that. Oh, Mother is trending. Is it Mother's Day? No, it's 2 weeks from now. Anyway, oh, Mother. Okay, what would Jesus do? Looks like Karen Pence just lied to protect her. Oh, fuck off. Karen Pence now claims Mike didn't know male required to wear a mask. Previously, Pence said he wouldn't wear a mask because he wanted to look people. Okay, you know what? Whatever. I don't care why he wasn't wearing a mask. He wasn't. Another 3.8 million Americans filed for unemployment, bringing the total to 30 million Americans. My question are, why hasn't rent and mortgage payment been frozen? Where's the second fucking stimulus payment? I don't know. So, hi, Brian Mullins, by the way. I don't know what you do here. This is unprecedented. Now, I can see if your mortgage company said, okay, we're going to defer your payments, we'll let you put them on the back end of your loan, and we'll just continue it out. But then they'd have to do some paperwork to do that. I don't know how that works. Same people angry at Trump for not shutting down the economy sooner, also blame Trump for another 3.8 million people filing unemployment. Cognitive dissonance is a hell of a drug. Oh, here's CNN. Another 3.8 million Americans file for first-time unemployment benefits last week, bringing the total claims since mid-March to more than 30 million, which I know CNN is just giddy, and I mean giddy, to report. I do find great humor though in the people, exactly what that person said. So there's 3.8 million people employed, but they're blaming Trump. You know what? It's a natural phenomenon, this whole virus thing. And so there you go. 60,000 dead and another 3.8 million lost jobs. And Trump is focused on helping Flynn. You know, God. You can think about two things at the same time. I can walk and chew gum. I can skip rope and sing a song. I can drink a soda and kick my dog all at the same time. Although I would never kick my dog because I love my dogs. They're great. My dogs are really cool. Moving on. Finally, Feliz Dia del Niño. Feliz Dia del Niño. I don't know what that means, but a lot of people writing in Spanish. I saw someone's story saying that nobody better wish their kid Feliz Dia del Niño because even though their kid is Mexican American, we are in the U.S. and that isn't celebrated here. Why are y'all like this? Okay, Happy Children's Day in Mexico. Every day is Children's Day in the United States, so I'm not doing that. And finally, U-Haul. Ooh, not good. Dozens of bodies found in U-Hauls near a funeral home in Brooklyn. Oh, but you know, what are they going to do? Police uncover the bodies in U-Haul trucks outside New York City funeral home after neighbors report a foul odor. So the city didn't pick up a woman's husband who had passed, and she had to freeze him for 3 days while alone during a pandemic. And now this U-Haul mess. Can New York City care about their fucking citizens? Oh my God. I hate to end on that note. What was, all right, so we're going to finish the show up real quick. I'll just check one hashtag here. And the latest on the hashtag, hopefully something happy, because that wasn't it. We all knew it was coming at some point, the moment when the dossier dam would break and the truth would come rushing through. Uh-oh. What has Wayne Dupree got going on here? Christopher Steele just threw Hillary and Susan Rice under the bus. Uh-oh. What did he say? Let's see here. Why did this go off center? All right. This is the first solid link between Hillary and Obama White House and the dirty dossier. We knew it was coming at some point, the moment that when the dossier dam would break and the truth would come rushing through. We're now seeing the first crack in the wall and the water starting to leak, and the Democrats have been groaning in agony. Christopher Steele, the former British intel spy who wrote the debunked fan fiction Trump-Russia dossier for Team Hillary, just threw Queen Hillary and disgraced liar Susan Rice under the proverbial bus during testimony in a British court. You notice they're not talking about this case in the British courts here in the United States. They're not talking about him testifying right now. Mr. Steele told a British court that he believed Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice were both aware of his dossier research as it was ongoing during the summer of 2016. This latest testimony is the most solid link yet between his Russia collusion research and the very tippy top of the Clinton campaign and the Obama White House. Two things that President Trump has alleged but nobody could prove. From Just the News, Steele told a British court he believed he had been hired by the Fusion GPS firm owned by Glenn Simpson through the Democratic National Committee-linked law firm Perkins Coie to assist the Clinton campaign during the election, according to a transcript of the testimony. I presumed it was the Clinton campaign and Glenn Simpson had indicated that, but I was not aware of the technicality of it being the DNC that was actually the client of Perkins Coie. Steele testified in March under questioning from lawyers for Russian bankers suing over his research. You knew it was the leadership of the Clinton presidential campaign, didn't you? A lawyer for the businessman asked. I believe it was the campaign. Yes, he answered. The leadership of the Clinton campaign, he was asked. Fine, the leadership of the campaign, Steele conceded. The lawyer persisted. You also understood that Hillary Clinton herself was aware of what you were doing, the lawyer asked. I think Glenn had mentioned it, but I wasn't clear, Steele answered. Later in his testimony, while discussing how the timeline of the circumstances unfolded that led him to presenting his dossier findings to the U.S. State Department, Steele mentioned that former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice was also aware of the work he was doing. Both National Security Advisor at the time, Susan Rice, and Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland, who were the key policymakers on Russia, had been colleagues of Mr. Talbot. And I had, although he didn't state it explicitly, one or either or both of them had briefed him on the work that he had been doing. So this is interesting. Now I don't know. Just the News, is that John Solomon's deal? Let's see. Here's the Just the News story. Steele reveals he believes Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice knew about his anti-Trump research. Yes, this is John Solomon. John Solomon seems to be the only one covering this trial in British courts because the Russians were suing Christopher Steele. Hoo boy. I wonder if there's I'm gonna download that, and we might be looking at that one tomorrow. All right, guys, that's it. I gotta be out of here. Gunfox, I saw you. I'll look at whatever you were talking about a little bit later, and we'll try to get that in tomorrow too. Also, gang, thanks for coming by. As you know, I'm here Monday through Friday. here. It's back on here. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT for people in other parts of the world to use that to figure out what's happening where we live here. And before you go, if you haven't done so, hit the like, thumbs up button right down there somewhere. I think it's about somewhere, I'm close to it down there. And if you would also share this stream out, also watch for my clips that come out at 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock. I'm going to probably do that on a regular basis, and share those if you would on Twitter or Facebook or wherever. And finally, if you want to help us out financially, you can drop a couple bucks in the tip jar at any time, day or night, but during the show, that'll also give you a super chat to write out, and I'll make that a permanent part of the show of that day. So anyway, I gotta go, people. Thank you so much again. My name is PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.